Today we are going to be doing the last installment in this series that I do every single year where I do mini reviews for multiple movies in a singular video because I want to talk about as many movies as possible during the year, but sometimes I just don't have the schedule to have all of the movies on the calendar. Like, I can't review every single movie, and honestly, not every movie deserves its own review, and these movies I think fall into that category. Now, I have already done a handful of other videos like this throughout the year this year, so if you want to check out those and see more mini reviews for maybe smaller movie releases or, you know, just other movies, go check those videos out. Another thing you should definitely check out, because the holidays are literally almost here, is Uncommon Goods, who is the sponsor of today's video. Uncommon Goods is a curated online marketplace that has super unique gifts that you just can't find out in stores or even searching online. I like that they're all in one place on one website, and they have gifts for literally everyone on your list, including yourself. Shop on there for yourself. I know I did. But from kids to book lovers to sports fans to the hostess, and yes, even horror fans, they have something for everyone. So one of my favorite products that they have on their website is this 100 horror movie scratch off poster. I showed this before. I haven't yet scratched any of them off because I think it just looks really pretty framed and they're all intact, but obviously the goal is to scratch every single one of them off. Another one of my favorite finds on their website were these Murder Most Puzzling, and these are murder mysteries in a puzzle form, which obviously if you have a puzzle lover or a true crime lover or horror thriller, you know, just murder mystery kind of lover, these would be perfect gifts. I think they're so cool and they're very aesthetic just on a shelf. I think they look beautiful too. And what I love about Uncommon Goods is they have gifts that people would love to receive but wouldn't necessarily search for themselves or think of to buy for themselves. I also love that all of their products are high quality, and some are even customizable, so you can add an even more special touch to your gifts. And one of my favorite things about Uncommon Goods is they partner with a lot of small businesses and artists, and a lot of things are handmade as well. So if you're looking to shop small or support independent businesses or small businesses, I think this is a really good place to do that as well. So you can get 15% off your next gift if you click the link in the description box down below or scan the QR code here on the screen. And you can make the holiday season unforgettable with Uncommon Goods and find a really unique and special gift for everyone on your list. As usual, I will have timestamps linked down below so you can see the movies that we're going to be talking about today, and you can jump around to whatever review you care most about if you want. Also, 3 out of the 4 movies are actually streaming right now, which is really nice because then you can go and watch them if my review makes you want to watch them. But the first one we're going to talk about is only video on demand, which is really weird because I swear it was going to be put on Shudder. I don't know, is that just me? Did I make that up? But the first one we're going to talk about is Good Boy. A man moves into a new home that has supernatural forces lurking in the shadows, and dark entities start to threaten him. His brave dog comes to the rescue. This is the only movie in this video that I actually watched in theaters because it was a smaller release, but I was able to find it at one of my local theaters, which was really nice because this is definitely one of those kinds of movies, no matter if it's good or bad, that I want to support in the theater and like pay for it with my money if possible. And the movie is good. I think it's pretty good. It is more of an independent, small budget of $70,000 kind of movie. No acting experience prior, I believe, especially the dog is not a dog actor, dog actor. But I feel like the movie itself is not even the most interesting thing about the movie. For me, it is how it was made and how long it took to make. And there's a featurette at the end of the credits for this movie. And I really enjoyed watching that because it shared all of the technical aspects of what it actually looked like to film the movie, which is actually really funny. They're directing a dog, so you can imagine how they're trying to get his attention and direct him. I mean, it's funny. They shot it in like 1 to 3 hour increments over the span of 400 days, over the span of 3 years. Okay, so they spaced the days out because they don't want to overwhelm the dog, right? They're just doing it for a little bit every day or like, you know, over the course of a couple days a week. And I just think that's really cool because obviously the passion was there and the effort was put in it. I think it's really admirable for an independent movie and creator like this to put in all of that work, and they did a lot of it themselves. They were a small crew in their real house, in their actual house, which I respect so much. And one of my favorite things about movies, I hate sets. I really do. I think sets feel cold and I never believe them. I can always tell they had a prop stylist come in and they had an interior designer kind of figure out the layout and things. Any big budget movie is going to do a set. I love the movies like Paranormal Activity that are filmed in an actual home where people live. Like if I ever made a movie, I don't know that I'd film in my personal home, but I would definitely pay someone to film in their home. Anyway, what makes this movie really unique is, of course, the whole thing is from the dog's perspective. So we're seeing the dog realize that there are supernatural entities around kind of haunting its owner. The owner is dealing with addiction, which I find really interesting. And the story itself, I mean, it is a sad movie. It leaves you feeling sad. I wouldn't say it's ultra horrifying or scary or anything like that. It's a bit of a slower paced, but I do enjoy supernatural movies and I don't mind when a supernatural movie is slower paced. And it's not a perfect film. Like I think there are things that I could find to critique, like the acting and whatnot, but I think all of the technical aspects were really smart. You don't really see a human face for most of the movie, which I find really interesting. And for an indie film, I think it was super effective in building tension and atmosphere from the perspective of a dog, which I think that's so cool and so unique. And for that alone, I give it its props and would recommend watching. I think it is worth a watch. Next up, we have Vicious, which is streaming on Paramount Plus. And see, this is the problem because I want to get rid of my Paramount Plus. It's my least favorite streaming service. Doesn't really have two good movies to pick from. Plus, I don't really watch any movies on there. I mostly just use it for Big Brother live feeds in the summertime, so I want to get rid of it. But then you have movies that are just randomly released on Paramount Plus. Like, why are we putting movies directly on a Paramount Plus? I don't know. It's just not the streaming service I think of when I think of horror movies. Also, I can't really get rid of it because it's the only place you can find classic Blue's Clues, and we're a classic Blue's Clues fan in this household, my daughter specifically. So this movie follows Polly, who receives a mysterious box that comes with instructions to place 3 things inside: something you need, something you hate, and something you love. What begins as a strange ritual quickly unravels into a waking nightmare as she becomes trapped in a terrifying world where reality bends and memory betrays. Now, this is directed by Brian Bertino, who directed the original Strangers movie. I think he did the new ones as well, which is unfortunate. He did Pray at Night as well, The Dark and the Wicked, and an underrated movie, The Monster. Go watch that one. This movie is so much weirder, so much scarier, so much more horrifying than I expected. And I was kind of shocked when things started happening because I was expecting like a thriller movie. Like I figured there would be some things based on that I could expect, but I didn't expect all the horror or all the different types of horror and what was going on. It was way more shocking than I thought it was going to be. It's not like the most shocking movie ever. It's just because of my expectations. I thought it was a thriller. I signed up for a thriller movie, and then we're getting like trypophobia and like body horror and things. It's a Christmas movie. It's snowy, so it's a great movie for this time of year. It's also kind of cozy too. It has like fireplaces. It's set at night in the cold, so something about it is kind of cozy. I don't know if that's weird because it is a dark movie. I liked this movie a lot, actually. I think it'll be mostly forgettable over time and looking back at the year as a whole, but I was so pleasantly surprised by this movie. I thought it was actually pretty good. It's a single night, almost single location, kind of, and it's just very mind-bending. Like it's kind of hard to follow, if I'm being honest. Maybe I'm just a little bit dumb or slow when it comes to this kind of movie. I don't know. But I liked that. I liked that it wasn't spoon-fed. I mean, there are, things explained, but I still found a vagueness about it that I really liked, because with something like this, that's just a bizarre concept And it's like almost sci-fi in a way, conceptually. I like that there's an element of the unknown because the character doesn't know everything, so we shouldn't know everything. And Dakota Fanning is the lead in this, and I think she did pretty good. I liked her performance. I feel like she's not too believable as a girl with like that many tattoos. Maybe it's just because of her previous work and things, but I don't know. That feels a little bit nitpicky, but overall, I think this is also definitely worth a watch, especially just for a Paramount Plus movie. So if you happen to have Paramount Plus, go watch Vicious. I think it's a pretty solid film. It's highly entertaining and not predictable. Maybe some could find it predictable, but I liked it. I thought I don't really have too many criticisms about it. But like I said, I think there's something about it that is kind of forgettable in the big picture. Like when I look at the year as a whole, I feel like it may be a standout, but then over time, I feel like we'll just move on from it and it'll be forgotten. Let's talk about VHS Halloween, shall we? Dear Lord, this movie, man. I filmed a TikTok watching this movie. I think I posted an Instagram reel as well. Just if you want my reactions, my first reactions and thoughts while watching VHS Halloween, you can go check that out. Now, obviously VHS is a collection of shorts that are found footage, so I naturally love a good VHS movie. Okay, I love it. This one was a choice, man. Okay, I didn't expect so many kids, which you think actually looking at it and thinking about it, Halloween is a kid's holiday kind of, right? With the trick-or-treating and like partying and things like that. I just feel like it's a younger kind of holiday, not really a family holiday. So it makes sense that there would be so many kids harmed in VHS Halloween, but my God, was I exhausted by this one. So many of you warned me, so many. For like 3 of the shorts, a lot of you were like, hey. I will say my favorites were the first one, Coochie Coochie Coo. AI aside, obviously they used an AI photo, which I'm not a huge fan of. But overall, I thought that one was the scariest. That's the one that I was like, dear God. And in a way of like, what am I looking at? What was that? What did I just see with my eyeballs? And then the other one I really liked was the last one, which was Home Haunt. Again, kids in that one, but it was more fun. It was campy, and I think the concept was really, really good, and that one worked for me. My least favorite short in that one was Fun Size. You know, it's just not for me, okay? It's not bad. It's just so shocking for shock's sake that it didn't work for me. That was a little bit too much. And then Kid Print, horrifying. Horrifying. That one feels illegal. That one feels like it shouldn't have been made, to be honest. It feels wrong. And I think it pushed really, really far, albeit the actual violence was towards older children, but still a lot. And then the ending was a gut punch, and overall just hard to watch. It was just hard to watch, VHS Halloween. I don't know that I was entertained by this installment of VHS. Just difficult to look at most of the time. Even the ones I liked, I was like, am I having a good time? I don't know. Okay, finally for this video, we're gonna talk about Frankenstein. I've gotten so many requests, which is really funny because before it came out, no one really asked me if I was gonna be reviewing it. And I had actually intended to do a full review last week on it. But sometimes as I'm watching a movie, I realize I really don't want to review this individually, like its own video, just because one, it doesn't really need to. I don't really have too many thoughts about Frankenstein. Like what little thoughts I have, I will share with you in a moment. But also two, it's a drama, okay? And I feel like it doesn't lean into the traditional horror. So not that I always stay in the horror genre. I do dabble, but I just feel like something about this movie did not lean enough that way for me to like do a full dedicated review for it, and ultimately I just didn't have that much to say about it. A brilliant but egotistical scientist brings a monstrous creature to life in a daring experiment that ultimately leads to the undoing of both the creator and his tragic creation. I feel like Guillermo del Toro typically fits into multiple genres. You know, I think he always has an element of fantasy. I think that is his first and foremost genre is like a little fantastical, and then it's a little dark around the edges. There's some like horror and thriller and mystery moments, or it has darker themes and creepy elements that make it seem like it's a horror movie, but he never fully crosses that line into traditional horror. Obviously, I have always raved about Guillermo del Toro. I love his work. I've loved pretty much all of his movies, but I think maybe my tastes have changed a little bit, and he's so talented, and I love that brain of his, but I feel like he always goes a little bit fantasy, and that's not necessarily my favorite direction. So Frankenstein was good. It was good. I wanted to like it more. I think my expectations might have been a little bit too high, which is my fault, but ultimately it kind of fell a little bit flat for me. It pains me to say that, honestly, because between this and Keeper, those were two of my most anticipated movies of the entire year, and they were both kind of a letdown. It's a little bit sad to finish the year off like this. I think the casting was good. I think Mia Goth could have played a little bit weirder of a character. In fact, I wish she did. I wish it was pushed a little bit weirder, or she had a little bit more depth to her. And sometimes I could tell that Jacob Elordi was acting as Frankenstein's monster, okay? And I appreciate all of his effort put into research and building the monster's voice and mannerisms and things like that. That he definitely put in a lot of work into that, but sometimes I just felt like I could tell he was acting. Overall, it was fun to see them all in a movie together, Oscar Isaacs and everybody. I thought, that was cool. Obviously, it's a beautiful movie, and that goes without saying. Just like in Keeper, when I talked about Oz Perkins makes atmospheric, beautiful horror films, Guillermo del Toro will always make a beautiful movie as well. The setting, costuming, cinematography, he goes all out with the visuals. Every shot is like a work of art, and he makes his films beautiful no matter what. Even if the story is a little bit flat, he will make every scene gorgeous. So loved all of that. I thought all of that was great. The beginning of Frankenstein honestly reminded me a lot of The Terror, which is one of the best series ever made. So definitely watch that if you haven't, but it was so reminiscent of The Terror. I think for me, I was just unsatisfied with the end and some of the character motivations or decisions, especially towards the end. Like I felt like a character would say one thing and do another, kind of not hypocritical necessarily, because that feels weird to say about a movie, but it felt a little weird in the end. I don't love where the story went, so it kind of fell apart for me towards the end. I liked all of the build-up, and I liked the character development and the character dynamics and all of that, but I was just a little underwhelmed. I wanted a little bit more horror. I feel like all that we got was really body horror, which makes sense in a Frankenstein movie. We're gonna get the body horror, but I wanted there to be more tension, and there wasn't. It was just a fantastical kind of dramatic story, and I wanted a little bit more of that dread or tension that something bad was about to happen. So those are the 4 movies that I have yet to review in 2025. And like I said, I think this will be my last installment of this video. So I don't know if there's much else to talk about for the end of the year. We're going to do my rankings here soon of the best and the worst of 2025. Let me know if I should do the format of ranking every single movie I watched, like all 60 plus of them, or if I should just include the best and the worst, or just do the best and forget about the worst. Let me know what you want to see for my end of year content. I can't believe we're already here. Naturally, I'm going to do a book video as well, and I think I'm going to do a reality TV ranking. Yep, because I watch a lot of reality TV too, so let me know if you're interested in any of that. Anyway, make sure to leave your thoughts on all 4 of these movies if you've seen any of them in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.